Ooh, everybody, welcome back to January in Along the Edge. We made it to chapter 6. Chapter 5 was very eventful, I'm not gonna lie. Our mom, first Eves came, our mom stopped him. A lot of other stuff. Our hair turned gray, then we dyed our hair sadly because I loved the gray hair, like that bad gray haircut. It was just like chef's kiss. Anyway, we tried to get with Frank. Frank found out that we might have slept with Stan. Whoops. And yeah. Frank left us, so we decided, you know what, we don't want to be alone, we're just gonna go with Stan. He was really happy. And now Stan lives with us. Which just makes the whole situation even funny because our mom is like, oh, he tolerates him now apparently, but I'm not so sure about that. And the Bertines are also probably like, oh, what are you doing, lady? And I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Like my whole playthrough follows no logic. Doesn't even follow my own personal logic. It's like they don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. It's just absolute chaos. January, and somehow I also screwed up the recording, so I'm gonna have to edit this together. Ugh. Then classes started again. I managed to get Dr. Zakarian to extend my leave. It wasn't very hard to convince. My leg isn't healing fast. The pain still often wakes me up at night. It's allowed me to keep practicing. And just threw the newspaper so hard at the freaking door. Anyway, it's allowed me to keep practicing the miracles day after day. I feel like more and more ready to confront the Maltese. I was busy. It has allowed me. Like it's. Don't like it. Spent a lot of time in the forest. Tried to find the clearing the pool I fell into without success. Of course, I asked Mr. Bettine. Said he found me soaked to the skin, but there was neither clearing nor pool where I was lying. There are all of these unanswered questions about my family and the Maltese. One day, as I'm reading through a Latin copy of the Red Dragon, more precisely a section about necromancy, so an illusion suddenly comes to me. Why not try to invoke the spirit of my grandmother Adelaide? Pretty sure a little talk with her could help me fill the gaps. The white face of the moon, planetary hour, I go into the forest for the ritual. Trace the lines on the ground with the consecrated knife, imposing the mark of my will upon the earth. Then as I speak the words of power, strange wind rises, bending the branches of the nearby trees. Suddenly, the magic circle flares up with a cold and sick fire. A form appears at the center of the fire. It's a woman, wreathed in flames, her face ravaged by pain and despair. Expecting an old lady, the woman before me is middle-aged, striking resemblance to myself. She looks at me, anger and sadness combined in her face. Before I even open my mouth, the ghostly vision is already fading. Make an effort of will, forcing the flames to remain. Adelaide? Adelaide de la Tour? What is this devilry? The Maltese? A new way to torment me? I am Daphne de la Tour, your granddaughter. I command you to answer me. Explodes in demented laughter. I knew knew this would happen. Sophie, my daughter, it's all her fault. She hadn't left. The child had been raised in a tradition. Feel my grip on Adelaide's spirit slipping. Won't answer from the time to lose. You know about the beast the townsman dreamed. How can I get rid of Yves Maltaire? The Maltaires, they made a pact with an invisible entity. They've been feeding it the blood of the Delatours in exchange for its help. The beast, it waits to feast from the source and continue to exist in our world. Sophie thought I would stop with her. When she and the Yves, the Maltaire blood was stronger than their union, he performed the rites. She and the Yves? What happened between Yves and my mother? You killed my granddaughter. It's happened before and it will happen again. To me, to my mother, to my grandmother before her, to my daughter, to hers, to her children after that. Sophie, she knows. She wanted to hide the other child, to keep her safe. She left. She was the first to survive the curse, but she took it from me, and now there's no hope. Let me go. I've answered your question. Case is a challenge. Exhaustion overwhelms me. And in a gust of flame, the spirit vanishes, leaving me alone in the forest. It feels strangely dark and empty. The only evidence of Edmund here is the scorched ground. The smell of sulfur, which dissipates in the freezing wind, rushing through the trees. It's late, but I know that if I don't talk to Mom right now, there's no way I'll be able to sleep. When I get to a bathroom door, a ray of light escapes in the gap beneath it, despite the lateness of the hour. I'm raising my hand to knock gently when Mom says, "Enter." I suppose the sound of my walking stick on the floor wards want of my presence. I open the door and go in, find Mom reading a novel by the light of a bedside lamp. "Daphne?" "Mom? We have to talk." "I'm sure it can wait until tomorrow, can't it?" "I think it's waited long enough already." "What's so urgent?" "Just talked with grandmother." "You just talk? No, don't explain. Not sure I want to know the details." "What happened between you and Yves Maltaire?" An awkward silence. Mom lays the book on her lap and takes a deep breath. "I knew that business would resurface sooner or later. And didn't it occur to you that, I don't know, you might let me know first? I would have preferred to hear it from you. It would have saved me the trouble of using necromancy to fill out the blanks." I'm sorry, Daphne. When I arrived at the castle, there was so much to tell you. I figured it could wait, that there was no hurry. Then you had the accident. The weeks passed. There were the holidays, and you started to spend most of your time in the tower. It's never the right moment. But I swear, this time, I'll tell you everything. Let's start at the beginning. Is Yves Maltaire my father? Because I'm pretty sure he is. Yves Maltaire? My father? Great gods, no! How could you think I would let you carry on your romance with Stanislas if Yves was your father? But it's true that we did have a fling, Yves and I. He was different back then, you must realize that. He wasn't the man he's become. We both wanted to be free from the prison of our families. Your grandmother Adelaide had a hard time accepting it at first. She realized quickly that an alliance could put an end to the old quarrel. But to the Maltaires, it was scandalous. Maltaire's heir getting mixed up with a Delatour. They put all the effort and ingenuity into breaking us up, and they succeeded. Eve broke my heart and all our plans went down the drain. What happened next? Took me a few months to get myself together. Did some things I'm not proud of during the time. Wanted to hurt Eve as much as he'd hurt me. Slept around. I wanted to get a reaction from him, to make him see. It was stupid. I know that now, but we were only 18. And then I got pregnant. So, who's my father? Do you even know? No, never been sure, and it didn't matter. Not to me, nor to your grandmother. It's a tradition. Women have always been at the head of House de la Tour. Some of our ancestors took partners as your grandmother did, but most remained single or had several lovers during their lives. The fact that there was no father was, somehow, the way things were meant to be. The only thing I'm sure of is that it wasn't Eve's. And then? Was it your pregnancy that made you leave the village? In a way. Mom hesitates to talk, the feeling I'm getting to the heart of the problem. Mom, I have to know. I feel like there's something huge that you're not telling me about my birth. Can't go on any longer. Do you understand? She looks at me distraught, realizes we're trashing something up, something she's tried to forget, to bury for all these years. It wasn't the pregnancy that made me leave. It was the death of the baby. Shiver runs down my spine, taking back to what I went through myself only a year ago. You mean, you lose a child before you had me? Don't understand. Twins? Yeah. Knew it. I was expecting twins. It was your sister that lost Daphne, and it's Eve's Maltaire's fault. My head is spinning. Because the firstborn has to die. Well, I need to go to the bathroom, but in truth, I need a moment alone in the living room. I need a cigarette. Twin sister. How could she hide it from me all those years? I mean, I guess she could have brought it up sometime, but I guess. But would you want to talk about it at the same time? Yeah. The fact that she lost her changes everything. When I turn to her bedroom, Mom's at the window smoking a cigarette herself. How could you fit in losing your baby, my sister, for all these years? She looks at me, her face sorrowful. What would it have changed? Besides, how can you blame me for keeping quiet when you went through the same thing yourself? Don't look at me like that. Near the accident, you were talking in your sleep. It's hard to put the pieces together. It's our curse. For over a century since the Maltairs offered our children in sacrifice. Think Eve might have sacrificed my baby? It's the only explanation. Each generation of Maltairs offers the firstborn of de la Tours. I'm just tapping my can right now. Can of Red Bull, but... Alright, Magic 101. Because this is a little bit different from every magical thing so far. There have always been offerings. Okay? That always depends on the magical universe, okay? Let me get this straight here. normally you have to offer your firstborn or something for that. How can you offer the firstborn of a different family? I mean, it's probably a strong beast that they offered it to, and it might have the power to take us anyway, but why? How? It feels like it's something that's never been done before in Magic universe. Before it was always like of your own family, of your own flesh and blood. Never of just, hey, you take the firstborn of their family. Like, what? In what exchange? It feels weird, but it has to be true. It happened to mom, it happened to grandmother, it happened to us, probably to people before that. That's how they took the power in the village, and how they kept it, generation after generation, weakened our line. Your grandmother was sure that because you survived and were in fact the firstborn, you'd be the one to break the cycle. That's why I left. Didn't want her to have any say in your upbringing. Expectations of you would have been unendurable. But she was right. After all that's happened, how can I doubt the truth of the old legends any longer? Anyway, life goes on. I know what you went through must have been hard, but if we could get through it, I'm sure you can too. We look at each other. That's when Mom understands. She finally understands the truth that I can't utter out loud, not without breaking down. There won't be any other children. I open my mouth, but no words come out. Damn. I was not aware of that. Oh my god. I was not aware of that. It makes it even more tragic when she lost a child. And Frank was still there for us, damn. That he's gone, but also does Frank know? Frank always wanted a child. Would he still even wanna be with us if he knew about that? That's questions. So many questions. Damn, but yeah, that is depressing as fuck. Don't say anything, Daphne. I understand. Both silent. What else is there to say? But Mom's just told me confirmed, so that's expected. Although I hadn't admitted it to myself. Please, Maltea, you would be responsible for the death of my sister, perhaps for the death of my child, maybe even for... Engulfed by a wave of anger and indignation. I know I've been too passive. I know. I have to act. That's it. This time, I'm furious. Between the Malteas who've been manipulating me and taking me for an idiot, and my mom keeping stuff from me, I feel like I'm between the hammer and the anvil. It has to stop. Could confront Eves immediately, waited long enough. Is able to destroy a life with a snap of his fingers like that. Someone has to stop him. But perhaps charging Wyatt in isn't such a good idea. Think of Celine Maltea. I know she and Eves are close, at least at work. He must have some information about what Eves is planning. Now if we heard of falling out, but I hope I'll be able to persuade her to help me. And I could ask Stan for his advice. He helped me see things more clearly. What should I do? Ask Stan for advice, hello? Celine hates us. I don't know, yeah, Stan for advice. The only logical option right now. That's the only option that we can use here. When I get to our bathroom, Stan is getting ready for bed. Daphne, you upset? What's wrong? Tell him everything. His sister, the child I lost. Talk about his father, his family. So, what do you think? I don't think Celine knows anything. Eves is always on his best to keep in the dark. I agree with you. We have to do something. Eves won't expect you to come knocking on this door in the middle of the night. Probably dressed in He's already dressed and is taking his keys and his money slip from the top of the chest. Can I get the car? Alright, let's do this. We get into the car, and shortly after I'm knocking on the door of the private wing of the town hall, I see light filtering through the frosted glass. The door is thrown wide open. Eves, dressed in his bathrobe, stands smirking. Such a smug face at that time. Can I kill him? Can I please just stab him? Please, game? That's what I want to do. Miss Delatour, what a surprise. I confess, I hardly recognized you. Have you changed something since the last time we saw each other? Never mind. What brings you here so late? You've come to give me my son back. I apologize, but adoptions are irreversible. No, it's not that, is it? Let me guess. Reconsider my offer. But I knew you were a clever young woman. My wife, Clovilde, well, can't conceal she's not very fond of you, but she could testify. Always said you'd see the light in the end. So? Kill my child. Kill my child. Look, I have my faults and accept them. You blame me for your sister's death? Twin, I suppose? Scrutinize my reaction, waiting for confirmation. The silence continues. Your twin sister, then. So yes, I confess, mea culpa, caught red-handed. How could I be responsible for the death of your child? Didn't even know you existed until a few months ago. You're lying. You're lying. Don't like being called a liar, you know? You're a mayor. You're a liar. Just admit it to the sacrifice of your sister. Why would I deny the rest? I assure you I took no pleasure in it. I only did my duty. You'll pay for it. Going to pay for all this? Are you threatening me? You're just like your mother. No patience whatsoever. All I ever wanted, and I promise you I'm sincere, was for us to work together. But I can see that's impossible. Go home, Daphne. It's late. But don't think I take your threats lightly. There will be consequences. I promise you. I hope you'll be more amenable the next time we talk. Slams the door in my face. I toss and turn for the rest of the night. Something tells me Yves Maltaire wasn't making empty threats. Next morning is gloomy. I feel a sort of Damocles hanging over me. When I'm called to the office for an emergency during my second class in the morning, I'm not particularly surprised. The secretary tells me that she had a call from Mr. Bertin, that there's been an accident at the castle. I waste no time in running to my car and rushing back home. Did he set our castle, our house on fire? He did. See the smoke, ominous above the treetops before we reach the lane to the castle. As I drive in, find Mr. Bertin wretched and in shock, surrounded by a team of firefighters. One of them comes towards me, looking serious. Are you Miss Delatour? Yes, I am. What happened? Hello, madam. I'm Captain Ribier. There was a chimney fire on the second floor, in the wing of the main building. Gerard called us and we were able to intervene quickly. Where's my mother? Is she... Words catching my throat. Oh, we're so gonna kill this entire whole family. We called for an ambulance immediately. They've already taken her to the emergency center. We were able to get her quickly. I'm afraid her chances of survival are slim. But how did it happen? I think your mother started a fire in the chimney of her bathroom. The flue must have caught fire and the smoke would have spread quickly across the whole floor. I found her unconscious by a bathroom door. Bathroom door? Yeah, definitely tried to get out of there. But she was locked in or knocked out? She was knocked out. We evacuated her and extinguished the fire. This kind of accident, death occurs after 3 to 5 minutes of smoke exposure. It's a miracle she was still alive when we found her. Gerard Bettine raises his face, suddenly reacting. Oh, Miss Daphne, it's all my fault. If I'd known, it's been ages since the bathroom chimneys have been swept. Gerard, it was an accident. You were off the fire first, as you alerted us as soon as you discovered it. You couldn't have done anything more. You know where she has been sent? We may be a small town, but we still have an emergency center. At least for now, you'll find it there. Spent the evening in the hospital. Doctors tell me the mom still hasn't regained consciousness, and that her chances are extremely slim. Sonora Stan arrives soon after. We wait tensely in the waiting room, hoping she'll come around, hoping the doctors will tell us we can see her, and hoping they'll say at last that she's going to be alright. Glad to have Stan with me. Just got together. He hardly knows me. Should have left any time. Having him here, with me, waiting anxiously for a sign from the doctors. Touching really. Just fallen asleep, curled up on a chair in the waiting room, when a man in white coat wakes me gently. Official. Yeah, I'm gonna kill this entire family. I said it many times, but please let us use witchcraft and make it true. Sophie Delatour deceased. Cause of death, carbon monoxide poisoning from smoke inhalation. Dan takes me home without saying a word. Days pass me by in a daze. Lost all notion of time. Wednesday? Thursday? I don't know. Not anymore. Getting my mother back just to lose her again, so suddenly. Is Ismael really responsible for her death? Yes, he is. Is all this nothing but some cosmic curse that will continue to persecute me? As I lost a baby, the inheritance, moving house, I'm lost. Hear the doorbell. There's somebody at the door. Leaves back to torment me. Don't have the strength to get up, even less so to go answer the door. I wait for someone to answer. Call to Stan. There's no reply. Has he gone out? Doorbell rings again. Crawl off the sofa, go into the entry hall. I did it again for a second. And I muster up my courage to open the door. It's a middle-aged man waiting behind the door. He's well powdered with flour, which tells me a lot about his job. Hello, Miss Delatour. I'm Jerome Blanchard, the baker. Hello? I don't think we've met. I'm usually out the back, but you may know Brigitte, the lass who works the counter for me. Nice to meet you. I guess. I mean, it's horrible timing, but it's gonna be nice. The pleasure's all mine. Came to give you this from the shop owners. Gives me a bouquet of flowers. When we heard about Sophie, and we all chipped in. Take the bouquet. Besides, before we didn't dare, but now that you're here. Those Maltea assholes, I'm sure they're behind all this. We're counting on you to show them, right? But... Excuse my language, but I'm angry, you see. Do you know they almost got me shut down? Old Maltea, he tried to steal a piece of my land. Since he's been running the town hall, he does what he wants with the land register, the dirtbag. And just like that, the next day, fall off a ladder, finance and blaster. Wasn't fit for anything. Had to hire someone to work the season. 2 shots, maybe you met them. It's back when they arrived in the village last summer. Sure they had their hands in the till. Well, look. Talking too much. Just wanted to say that we're behind you, against the family of creeps. So what happened to your mother, the fire and all. I'm sure you've had enough too, haven't you? In the end, I didn't get the feeling was particularly welcome when I arrived in the village. That's how people are around here. They're scared shitless of the Maltese. But now that they've seen you with your black hair and walking stick, well, guess they're even more afraid of you. Anyway, it's high time it all stopped, don't you think? Yes, they must pay for all they've done. I agree with you completely. I'm certainly not the only one. So well, this was just to show you our support. And if you need anything, you know where to find me. Have a good day, Miss de la Tour. And on the doorstep, but stunned, as he gets back into his van, makes an awkward U-turn, and disappears around the bend. I have to admit, that was the last thing I saw coming. To be honest, same. Thinking about it, the land which is equals a broken leg on the Maltese response scale. I understand much better why they're so virulent against me. The rest of the week goes by in an atmosphere of tense expectation. I know Yves hasn't had his last word. Sam does all he can to make my life easier, but watching him coming and going gloomily around the house doesn't cheer me up. He tries his best to reassure me, but I can tell he's worried about what his father might do next. Mr. Bertine went into the wing to evaluate the damage. It's not as bad as we thought. Fresh coat of paint, some new curtains, and he assures me it'll be as good as new. Oh. The Warrens have been particularly distressed by Mother's passing. Mr. Bertine is even more impenetrable than usual. As for Mrs. Bertine, she's made herself very scarce. Doubt she's been outside the lodge much in the last few days. And now, people from the village began to come up to the castle. Some of them asked for advice. Others want me to try to cure them. But what's touched me the most is all these people reaching out to offer me comfort during this trial. So when the day of Mom's funeral arrives, I'm only half surprised to see the cars arriving one after another at the castle. Guess I can thank the Bertines for spreading the words. We are all gathered here at the edge of the forest to honor my mother's memory. I wanted to honor her passage to the other world according to the old rites, so as we couldn't build a funeral pyre as tradition demands, I decided to scatter her ashes. I know most of you hadn't seen my mother for over 30 years since she was cast out of the village by the Maltese family. Seeing so many of you come to bid her farewell warms my heart. I open the urn and allow the ashes to scatter on the freezing wind. My vision is blurred by tears. I have to be strong. My audience observes a minute of silence and contemplation. If you're here, it's also because you want to see things change. I know most of you are familiar with the legends, the origins of our community. For a century, the Maltese have bound the village in shackles. For a century, we have bowed to them. No more. I will not allow Yves Maltese to terrorize you any longer. He must pay for what evil he's done, and it's high time the de la Tours took back their place in the village. Really? Yves Maltese, who must have witnessed the scene, pushes through the crowd to approach me. Everyone watches him. When he reaches me, he looks down at me with a condescending air. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Mr. Bertine nod sadly and move off towards the lodge at a brisk pace. He's getting a gun. Yves turns to the crowd. All the faces gathered here today, I know them personally. How many of you feed your families thanks to the sawmill? Pointed the man in the crowd. You, Mr. Punnell, did I lend you some money when you wanted to open your cobbler's shop? Turned to someone else. And you, Mrs. Legendre, when your husband died and you couldn't make ends meet, who found you a place to live? A murmur runs through the crowd. All of you, at one time or another, have turned to my family to ask for help. And now what? Stab me in the back? You disown me after everything I've done for you? You put your trust in a stranger? Reeves puts a dramatic hand to his head, a vision of profound disappointment. Someone in the crowd cries out, But she's a Delatour. A Delatour? For over a century, the Delatours have kept the source to themselves, refusing to share a shared heritage. What's left of the ancient glory? A decaying castle. What have you done for the village, Daphne? Well, I'm listening. What have you done? Reeves glowers at me, and now I need to choose my next words carefully. Can I calm things down? Should I argue or play the victim? I mean, I am the victim here. I am definitely the victim. I think I'm gonna play the victim. Because... let me explain. It just feels like the right thing. It's just true, right? I mean, I am the victim, right? I'm gonna play the victim. Yes. You ask what I've done for the village? Ever since I arrived barely 6 months ago, you've done nothing but torment me. I never wanted any of this. You, foe, have tried to intimidate me time and time again. Your only goal to chase me from my family home. Daphne, you exaggerate. All I wanted was for families to work together. Work together? Are you kidding? When I didn't yield immediately to your demands, you decided to use force to get what you wanted, as you always do. The murmur around us. For the first time, Eve seems ill at ease. You've put a spell on them. This isn't right. Says you, whose family has been using witchcraft for years. Go home, Eves. You're making a fool of yourself. You think you have power, but as soon as anyone refuses to bow to your rule, the house of cards collapses all on its own. I warn you. Cut him before he can finish his sentence. You warn me of what? You're responsible for the death of my mother? Don't push me. You don't know what I'm capable of. You don't scare me. Stop your crowing, Eves. Doesn't intimidate me. My turn to look down on him. You're nothing but a paper tiger. Stares at me in a mix of rage and impotence. I meet his gaze and we look each other in the eye for a long moment, until he looks away. You know the way out. You might have guessed. You're not welcome here. Turn away, about to push through the stunned crowd who have witnessed the scene. Somebody in the crowd cries out a warning. Don't have the time to turn when I hear a gunshot. Eve collapses at my feet. Sand wet with blood, clutches his right shoulder. A few yards away, Mr. Bertin holds his hunting rifle. The goat! The freaking goat! Mr. Bertin, favorite character. He always has been. He's a silent but doer man. He has been through a lot. What a man. That's what a man's supposed to be. What a man. The barrel smokes. Wow. Now I'm just gonna talk on this. The barrel smokes. Delicate curls floating up toward the sky. Epilogue. Guess the story is ending already. Well, it's only 38 minutes in the recording. Let's end this game then. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but we'll see. Epilogue spring. Daphne? I'm in the garden enjoying the first of the sunshine. With a good book and a cup of coffee. I look up. Stan, probably just back from the courthouse, thanks me for my reading. Even if I hadn't doubted the outcome of the trial, the smiling face in front of me tells me the good news. Besides, since the incident with Eves, the Maltese have made themselves scarce. They say in the village that Eves doesn't leave the town hall much anymore, and that his convalescence has been difficult. I don't know what the future is in store, but I hope that the storm is now finally behind me. So, what's the verdict? He was acquitted. The number of witnesses who testified in his favor, the judge had no choice. In the end, what tipped the scales on the side of self-defense was the testimony of Mr. Blanchard, the baker. He swore under oath he had seen Yves Maltaire take a knife from his pocket. I guess that for once, no bribe could have changed the verdict. Oh yes, I dropped him at the lodge, but you know what he's like. He never shows his feelings. Came right away to tell you the good news, but I have to go back to the town. Got a few errands to run. See you tonight then. Then kisses me tenderly before disappearing into the house. Pour myself another coffee and sit, lost in thought. Uh-oh. That's when I see the tall, blonde figure coming up the path. The sister. She's striding purposely towards the castle, but when she sees me in the garden, she hesitates briefly and heads in my direction. Oh! I was expecting the daughter, not the mother. Hello, Miss Delator. I was going to knock. When I saw you, I thought I'd come directly to you. Clothilde Maltaire looks ill at ease and seems to have traded in her habitual haughtiness for a dose of humility. You know what? Offer her coffee. I'm gonna play this game for now. Even though it's the epilogue, but she's not welcome here. Clothilde, what a surprise. Can I offer you some coffee? No, thank you. And if you would give me a minute of your time. I'm listening. I'm curious. Sigh escapes me as I wait for her to take a seat. I'm listening. Daphne, I have to admit, I underestimated you. I never would have believed on seeing you that you could have stood up to my husband for so long, that you would make yourself so popular in a little community. Come on, Clothilde, stop trying to butter me up. Apologies don't suit you. You're right. It might be because I haven't had to apologize for anything for a very long time. Anyway, as you might have guessed, I'm not here for that. Cut to the chase if you don't mind. Soon as Mr. Bertin's trial finished, I came straight here. The verdict wasn't a surprise, and I've been mulling this over for a while now. You know my husband. He has his shortcomings and his good qualities. Suppose you don't see it like that. But promise you, Yves has a good heart, despite what you might think. I'm gonna kill this man, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill everyone. I'm about to interrupt her, but she stops me with a wave of her hand. Please, Daphne, give me up before you start insulting me. I'll tell you something that might surprise you. I really believe in all these tales of witchcraft. Oh, I can see the benefits, but let's be serious for a minute. How can you say that? Everything I've experienced since I arrived, there can be no doubt. You're entitled to your beliefs, Daphne, but let me ask you. What proof do you have that anything truly supernatural happened? Since you arrived, what's actually happened? Car accident? In the chimney fire? Ooh, I have to say so. I wanna argue so badly right now. Like, bitch? 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 Talking about my mother here. Well, never mind. Sorry to be blunt, but your views on this subject don't interest me at all. However, you may have noticed that my husband is a true believer. The recent events between, you and us really took a toll on him, you know? I don't think he'll ever forgive you making him ridiculous in front of the whole village. And now, the judge's decision? He got what he deserved. Bound to happen sooner or later. After all, he only got what he deserved. You're right, Daphne, and believe me, I deplore that things have to come to this pass as much as they do. Just want this to be over once and for all. Neither of us has anything to gain by keeping this animosity alive. I know I can make my husband listen to reason, but for that, I need you to meet me halfway, Daphne. Do you understand? I know you have a relationship with my son, Stanislas. All I'm asking is you let us organize a wedding. We'd give you our blessing, of course, and it would unite our two families and put an end to our quarrel. What do you say? Oh, holy shit. Wow. Yeah, that's why I listened to her out. That is insane. Bro. Whoa. No way, right? Do we even consider this? Do we even anything to say to this? Like, what? Like, bro. Bro. Jesus Christ. Alright. So, are you sure you can convince your husband or it's out of question? I just don't. I mean, she killed my mother. I mean, it's out of question, isn't it? How long do I want to entertain this bullshit? Are you sure you can convince your husband? Let's say accept. Are you sure you can persuade your husband to call it truce? No, he won't like it, I'm sure, but I can guarantee his cooperation. In any case, I need to discuss it with Stan. Come on, Daphne. We both know that my son will agree to anything you ask of him. Bro. None of that. None of that. However, just give me an agreement in principle. I have every confidence you can convince your future husband. So, what's it going to be? Yes or no? Oh, it's out of question. It's out of question. Your family has no say in my affairs of the heart. Stanislaus isn't on good terms with you and his father anyway. Accepting his offer would be a betrayal. Came here with only good intentions. This I received. I listened to your all bullshit and didn't kill you immediately. You can consider yourself lucky. I warn you, Daphne. I can still make your life miserable. We glared at each other. Burst out laughing. Will you tell me what's so funny? I mean it. You'll regret taking this lightly. Really, Clotilde? Either you're in denial, or you take me for an idiot. Excuse me? You have no hold over me. Just told me you don't believe in witchcraft, and even if you did, you're in a corner. Let's say your husband asked the entity in contact with family to do his dirty work again. Who would you direct it against? Me? Maybe Eve's tried, which is probably why today I have to walk with a cane. At the time of the accident, I hadn't really taken stock of my inheritance. Trying anything now that I have access to the tower would probably fail, and your husband knows it. Of course, Eve could try to blackmail me by threatening, I don't know, Mr. and Mrs. Bertine? I suppose he's responsible for my mother's death, and certainly a threat might carry some weight. However, you know this as well as I do. The local population is very superstitious, and I'm sure if anything happened to someone close to me, they might reach some conclusions on their own. But starting a popularity contest, I think we both can agree that causing an uprising is not really in your interest. Well, unless you want to deal with a riot. I don't know. Strike at the sawmill. See what I mean? So, I don't think we've anything left to discuss. You go, girl, hell yeah. He turned to my book while she stands there, motionless, consumed by cold rage. Farewell, lad. Goodbye, Clotilde. She turns and leaves. I watch her until she disappears behind the trees. I haven't seen Clotilde since that spring day. A couple of weeks later, the news of Eve's death began to circulate the village. Yes! He's dead? Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah! He'd hanged himself in his office at the city hall. Yes! Yes! Clotilde left the area without a work, taking most of the assets and Maltese had accumulated for generations with her. Little by little, people began to talk and Eve's shady deals were revealed. Rapidly, the Maltaire name was no longer a synonym for respect and fear on the lips of the villagers. Time passed. The days are longer. Little by little, summer heat arrived to warm the old stones. In August, there were rumors about the financial instability of the sawmill and its eventual closing. There was a climate of anxiety on the village. After all, it was the first time in more than a century that the population couldn't look to the Maltaires either to guide them or as a scapegoat for their troubles. In the end, even the Maltaires were the architect of their own demise. Left me with a bitter taste in my mouth. Carried on putting the archives of the tower in order. Weird nightmares became less and less frequent until they stopped entirely. I don't know what happened to the strange beast I'd seen in my sleep. Sometimes, I even wonder if it really existed. I started teaching myself all the forms of magic I could get my hands on. I have to know more. I have to prove to myself that all this is true. I'm well aware it's a losing battle. The magic will never allow me to formally confirm its existence. And I've begun to take a back seat from the daily life of the village. At the point anyway. People are scared of me, but at least they leave me in peace. For them, my home has become the castle of the witch again. Without the Maltaires to remind them of the weight of tradition, and all this would disappear. And I myself would disappear and be forgotten. After all, It's the way of the world. I'm nothing more but the last of my bloodline, an endangered species. Dan's gone back to law school. He's working with Celine, managing the family business. They're doing their best to save the sawmill. They're not out of the woods yet. Take things one day at a time, without any constraint or commitment, but the love we share. But things have turned out differently. I wonder about that from time to time. What would have happened if I'd chosen another partner to share my days, my troubles? I'd believed in magic more, or the contrary doubted. I'd given in to anger, or to despair, perhaps succumbed to leniency. Would my life be different? Would I myself be different? I don't know. I've gone with the flow. Done all I could. Dangled over the precipice for a long time, clinging to the comfort of my certainties, of my doubts. The void constantly calling to me. Let my feet guide me, one to the other, along the edge. Achievement unlocked, Heart of Darkness. Achievement unlocked, Love at First Sight. Achievement unlocked, Hegemony. Achievement unlocked, Orphan. Achievement unlocked, Frozen. Achievement unlocked, The Devil's Advocate. Achievement unlocked, Like a Virgin. Achievement unlocked, Seeing Dead People. Alright guys, that was Along the Edge. I hope you guys enjoyed. We got some achievements here. This game is available on Steam. Let me just check. It's currently actually on sale, like €4.89. If it's not on sale, it's apparently $30.99. I definitely recommend, if you want to get it, to buy it on sale. It has definitely different paths that you can take, but since it's not that long, I recommend getting it if you want to see the different endings for yourself, to get it on sale. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all guys in the next Let's Play that I'm gonna do. Until then, have a great one. Bye bye.